por ejemplo?
Tienes el micro abierto.
Sí. ¿Cómo se cierra? Es que está abierto todo el rato. No sé cómo se cierra.
So, good morning. Thank you everyone for attending this international event of an Erasmus Plus project, Care for Europe. We are here in Lleida at the University of Lleida, 3rd of June. And we are 4 higher education institutions: University of Lleida, Red Cross of Lyon, University of Applied Sciences of Laurea in Finland, and University of Pécs in Hungary. Yesterday we had a steering meeting of the partners of the project, and today we have this open event for all the people interested in this interesting topic of internationalization of their nursing students, and to promote the interchange between nursing students between European countries, and improving the multicultural skills of the students and of the clinical mentors. Later on, the project manager of this project, who is from Red Cross, he couldn't attend pitifully this meeting because he has COVID, but people from colleagues of him from Red Cross of Lyon are here and will introduce properly the project. I only wanted to introduce briefly what is the project about. And for giving you the welcome, we have an important guest to introduce this meeting. We have here Montserrat Gea. She currently is the General Director of Health Professionals of the Government of Catalonia here in Spain. But she also is a professor, an academic professor. She used to be the Vice Rector of International Relations of this university, University of Lleida, and well, even more in the Faculty of Nursing and Physiotherapy. So we are very grateful for having her giving this welcome speech, and she has a lot of experience and things to say about this interesting topic. So thank you, Monse, for being with us today.
Thank you, Erika. I feel so old seeing this picture. It was taken like 12 years ago, so, but thank you for putting this picture. So good morning, everybody. Welcome and thank you for choosing Lleida and its magnificent university for the dissemination of the Care for Europe project. First of all, all my thanks to Cecile, that was the first person of Red Cross of contacting me like 3 years ago, and we started like to design this project, and that later was funded by Erasmus Plus. So thank you to Red Cross of France for made possible this project, and thank you for your leadership. Secondly, I would like to thank the University of Lleida for the hospitality, and Erika Briones and her team for organizing this event. I'm sure that you will have unforgettable professional but also personal moments like Hora en Labora. And thanks to University of Pécs and University of Laurea for their involvement. The Care for Europe project is a demonstration of the importance of European collaboration in nursing education in a context of free movement of labor and international nursing crisis. Only by working together across countries can we achieve equity and real equivalence of nursing competencies. As you know, there are substantial differences in training and in the equivalence of degrees between European countries that sometimes do not allow nurses to develop their professional careers to the maximum, and that is why it is very important to seek homogeneity in a context of multiculturalism and migrations at global level. The Department of Health is very grateful for your commitment to training the nurses of the future with this multicultural outlook and with the unquestionable experience offered by international exchange. Thank you very much to all of you, and of course, and the Multiplier Dissemination Day of the Care for Europe project is inaugurated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now I ask my colleagues, the partners of the other countries, of Red Cross in France, University of Applied Sciences in Finland, and University of Pécs in Hungary. We are going to introduce briefly our institutions and talk a bit about our teams and the work we have been conducting. But our colleague from Laurea is going to introduce properly the project. As I said, we are for higher education institutions, and each of us, we are the project manager of each institution in our country, but there is a country which is the manager of all the project. And this institution is Red Cross in France, and as I said, the project manager has COVID, so, Laurea, sorry. This.
Laura.
Okay, this.
Okay, so hi everybody. Nice to meet you, and thank you for your welcoming. And at the beginning, I will thank you for this big project and your organization in the University of Lleida. And thank you for your participation to be here with us for this moment. So this is the first one in reality and not by the computer, so it's a big day for us. So like said Erika, I'm a substitute Michael for because he's a little bit sick, so I will try to do my best to explain to you what is the project. So Care for Europe is a big project. He contributes to the internationalization of the nursing skills and nursing education through the quality, welcome, and the better integration of incoming students. So we are 4 universities, 4 higher education of institution, so from Finland, Hungary, Spain, and us in France. The Erasmus project is something like a key. When you are in the Erasmus program, there is 3 kinds of key, and this project is the second one. It's more in order to create a cooperation between the university in order to improve our pedagogical, our educational skills with the students, and in order to improve and promote the mobilities of the students too. This project is divided in several blocks. We create some intellectual outputs and training activities, and we try to do some dissemination of events like today. And we are working on a transnational meeting like we had yesterday in order to be together and move on the project. The 3 intellectual outputs we work on it are a MOOC, that Niina will explain to you. We have a film with Erika, and we have a good practice guide, but everybody on the team is working on each output. So for each output, each institution has a manager. So we are leading each output and work together on that. We have 2 training activities too, a short-term staff training event on the topic of interculturality in care, welcoming an intern from another culture, which took place at the beginning of the project online. And the second one is the summer school in France. We organize it in the Red Cross University in Saint-Etienne, and I will explain that a little bit later. Maybe I can present to you our team in France. So you can see there is Emmanuel with me, who is working on the MOOC with 2 other colleagues. We are a lot of people in France who are working in the Erasmus project, because we have 5 institutions in our area, in the part of France, in the Rhône-Alpes region. So you will see a lot of people, but it's just a short part. So this is my colleague for the MOOC. I worked with Marilyn and Emily on the film with Erika too. And sorry, just quickly. And we are 4 people in the guide from France. And for all this output, our colleague from the other country helped us to work on it together. For the guide, we are the main the main manager for these topics. So we would like to work together about good practices guide. It's for the higher education institution and for the world too, in order to help people, the professional in the world, to welcome the students and to support them when they want to do mobility and when they are arrived from abroad, in order to understand what happens in the country and help them to be more supported. So we have a focus on the welcoming of international students. The other one, that's my colleague from Saint-Etienne, who is leading this output. This is the summer school. It's 2 weeks in France for students who want to have 2 weeks, more or less. It's a topic we want to create in order to share our practice, and the students from each country can meet together in France and have some interculturality in nursing. They can work in simulation, because in Saint-Etienne there is a big simulation center, and work with about cultural activities. So it's the first point for meeting and work together on that of interculturality. Sorry. No, it's okay. So thank you very much for your attention.
Do you have anything more to say?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sorry. Maybe I can explain to you why I would like to take part of this project. In my past, I've done a lot of travel, but not only for traveling, but for living abroad too and work abroad. So to me, interculturality, it's a very big part to me, personally and professionally. And now, as a teacher, I can realize students when they come from abroad or when they want to go abroad, it's a very beautiful opportunity for them, but we have seen there is some difficulties for them when they come in France, for example, and we have to find a solution in order to be better in the supporting them. So it was a very challenge to me to work in this group because it's in English. Maybe you know, but in France we didn't speak a lot English, so it's a very challenge for us. And we are together, and it's a very good experience to share with the other country, other professionals, to speak about pedagogical and way of life and way of taking care of the patient. So this is why I would like to participate to the project, and it's a very pleasure.
Okay, thank you. You can talk, Niina, you can talk. Oh, sorry.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very glad to be with you, and one word, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. It's an opportunity for me to understand English. It's a big job. It's a big job for me, and to share with professionals on other country. A cultural wealth to students and health professionals, and since my representation of Erasmus are not the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Niina Glerean. I come from Laurea University of Applied Sciences. First of all, I would like to thank you, University of Lleida, and Erika, especially organizing this really nice event. And meeting yesterday, and it really has been a pleasure to meet, because we've been really working. We started when the COVID started, and we've been working online mainly. So now the heads has a body and a character, and really nice persons that we have met here. I had a short presentation about Laurea University of Applied Sciences. I'm not sure if you know us. We work a lot with the Spanish higher education institutions. Most of our exchange students comes actually from Spain, so it might be that one of you already have been working with us, but on the slide you see where we locate. So Helsinki is the capital of Finland, and we are just there right next to Helsinki, Vantaa, and we have other campuses as well. This Lohja, Hyvinkää, Porvoo, Tikkurila, Leppävaara, Otaniemi. So we have 6 campuses around capital area of Finland. And me and my colleague Mika, we come from the biggest campus, which is this Tikkurila campus, where we also welcome biggest amounts of nursing exchange students. And also we have the biggest amounts of students as well, like in our own degree students, that we have the widest study selection. We have the English programs, I mean that we provide nursing education in English, so we have also, our community is very multicultural, the students and the teachers. And if you want to know more about Laurea, there's the QR code, so you can read about the international activities that we have. And Laurea University of Applied Sciences, so we have a dual system in Finland for higher education institutions. So we have like traditional universities that are conducting research, but we also have universities of applied sciences, and we are more into, we also conduct research, but we are also more towards the regional development, and we participate kind of international and national projects. And we work a lot with the local companies, and our students are often part of the project. They work during their studies a lot with the hospitals and projects. And here's some numbers to kind of understand the size of the university. So almost 7,000 bachelor degree students graduated in. These numbers are from 2020, and I would say that maybe a bit more at the moment, because the government has been investing in nursing education, and we have more groups starting because of the nursing shortage. That is, I guess, our common concern. And what comes to the international exchange students, I guess before COVID we had approximately 40 nursing students coming to Laurea every year. And the numbers has been going down, And that's why we are happy to be part of this project, because the idea is to also encourage nursing students to go abroad and do exchanges, shorter or longer ones. And then shortly about the nursing education in Laurea, because this is again in the University of Applied Sciences. So the nursing education is 210 credits, lasts approximately 3.5 years. And of course our education follows the European standards, so we have the same framework than everyone in Europe. Yeah. And I added some international activities that we have in the Laurea. That currently the big thing is that the state of Kenya bought Laurea education for 300 nurses, Kenyan nurses who will travel to Helsinki to become a European nurses, and our teachers are currently in Kenya educating or studying the groups and doing student selections. And we also have currently a group of Chinese nurses graduating this spring. And we do also this kind of the exchange programs we have many partners or organizations. We do these COIL courses, so we collaborate with the other higher education institutions, arrange online courses for our own students, but of course our exchange students as well. Maybe the transatlantic dual degree program that we have with United States, that our students can apply to this dual degree program and graduate as nurses from Finland and from United States. So that's a unique program that we have in Laurea. And in this project, our focus is in the MOOC. So we have been developing a MOOC to orient, to help international nursing exchange students to orientate to their clinical placement in Finland, Hungary, Spain, and France, and also for them to understand the concept of cultural competence and its meaning in the nursing context. And today, in the afternoon session, we will describe more in detail, and you get to test this MOOC, which is still in the pilot stage. We had a bit of problems with the COVID. We couldn't enter the hospitals where we had to take these pictures, so we are a bit delayed with the original plan. But today we can show you the first version of the MOOC, and we are really appreciate all the feedback that you will give us later today, and we will go more deeper to this topic then. Was there our team members also? Yeah, okay, so here you see it. I'm the project manager, so Niina, and Mika is here with us. Mika works with all these intellectual outputs with me. And then Sari Myrén, she's mainly working on the summer school. She's a language teacher, and then she's arranging for exchange students this kind of buddy courses, and yeah, she teaches French and English. And me and Mika, we are nursing lecturers. I'm the academic contact person for nursing students, so I work with them a lot and work also as a tutor for the nursing students. And this project, we work together with all the intellectual outputs. And we are missing one person actually from the slide, Natalia Kempi, who's responsible for our financial aspects of the project. But that's our team. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me warmly welcome you virtually at the University of Pécs. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Orsolya Máté. I'm a lecturer as well, actually associate professor and the director of international affairs at the university. So I'm representing both the academical side and the international relations side, luckily in this project. Can we move forward to the next slide, please? So about the University of Pécs, we are the second oldest university in Europe. Before us was only Bologna existing. So you can see here some facts, numbers and facts about the University of Pécs. We are very proud that over almost 40 years we are running an international, very successful international program at the university, which was first started with the medical school, but later on the University of Pécs Faculty of Health Sciences has opened our own international program. So we have 10 faculties, 24 own clinics, and 8 dormitories for our students. And about the Faculty of Health Sciences, we are a multicultural and multi-campus faculty. As you have seen in the case of Laurea, we have also different campuses in the Trans-Danubian region of Hungary. And we are using the University of Pécs Clinical Central Teaching Hospital for the internships, also for the Erasmus students. Among this, we have the Simulation Center, which is brand new at the faculty, and it is full equipped with the high fidelity mannequins. If it says something to you, we're using that to simulate the hospital environment and hospital practice in our simulation center. Regarding the Erasmus partnerships, we have 42 partners from 18 countries. Among these, 24 partners are available for nursing students, and we carry on approximately 40 exchange students per year, and also teachers are coming and instructors coming to us and to visit us every year. If I would like to introduce you the educational program of the University of Pécs, I don't want to list all of them by saying, because we have a pretty large number of educational programs in Hungarian, but at BSc level as well. And as master level, the healthcare management, the nursing, nutrition science, the public health inspection, and the clinical laboratory research and social work we have. And I have already spoken about the international programs of the University of Pécs. We have one common program, both for Hungarian and for English students. This is on doctoral, on PhD level. This is the highest level of education at the university. So we have the doctoral degree in health sciences as well. So coming to the point in English, at bachelor level, we have the nursing bachelor, the physiotherapy bachelor, and the dietetics. And I'm personally very proud of the fact that for approximately 10 years, we started our program with 8 students. That was a pilot program. But I think this is a success story that by now we have over 600 international students coming from all corners of the world, from sub-Saharan Africa to Canada, to really every corner. And we developed master programs for our graduates and new incomings as well. It is the APRN, so the Advanced Practice Nursing, with several specializations like for ICU, for intensive care, for primary care, and for physiotherapy, and for clinical laboratory science. The last 2 are brand new programs. Let's see how they work in the future. So this is our team. Clara Shimon, who is luckily here with me today. During the postay, we go to French and do the summer school with you guys in French. And this is myself, who is leading the project on the project manager level in Hungary at the University of Pécs Faculty of Health Sciences. Can we go to the next slide, please? And Ediko Husser and Céla Gluck, they are more on administrative level, but we are feeling ourselves very lucky to have them. So, very briefly about role and achievements in the project. We are responsible for the dissemination. So the particular attention to communication practices, the visibility and dissemination of the Erasmus projects, and particularly this project as well. And we are very proud that we had designed the project website as well. If you want to visit, you have here the link. So at the second third, I can say so, of the project, people are trying to summarize why is this project so important for us? What have we done within this project? So it really helped the internationalization process in the high science education at the University of Pécs. I already told you that we have an international program, but we have constantly developed. And this project had a huge role to understand the needs of the incoming nursing students, to find an answer for their needs, and to provide them a better care during their stay. And also appreciating and encouraging a collaboration among students via Erasmus mobility opportunities, having interculturality as a subject matter of our current curriculum. Me, myself, teaching interculturalization as well for nursing students and international nursing students as well. And I have to say we have a lot of to do. So creating a community of them and encourage them to find the differences, but coming to the same point is a very important aspect nowadays in the healthcare. Maybe the most important thing nowadays in the globalization. And having a local and international students and active participants in the same group to work on the numerous assignments together. Can we move to the next slide? So with this, I would like to thank you for your attention. I wish you a very pleasant day, activities for today, and thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all. Before finishing this short table of presentation of the project by the project managers, it's my turn in presenting briefly, really briefly, the University of Lleida, where we are holding this event. And I am not going to take a lot of time because I am so excited about the next guests we have, who are going to talk us about the cultural skills that nursing students and nursing professionals need in their clinical practice. So from the University of Lleida, we have 11 faculties, but I am going to focus in the Faculty of Nursing and Physiotherapy. We have two campuses, one in Lleida and other in Igualada, and here we collaborate with two main hospitals, the University Arnau de Vilanova and the Hospital Arnau Vilanova and Hospital Santa Maria. And we have other faculty in Igualada. Igualada is a town, it's between Lleida and Barcelona, it's 1 hour from here. And we collaborate with other hospitals in Igualada. And in Igualada, we have a special simulation center. And we send the students both from Igualada and from Lleida to them. To there, sorry. So in this project, the Spanish team, we are teachers of this Faculty of Nursing and Physiotherapy. We are nursing teachers, and we belong as well to two research groups of the University of Lleida, the research group in healthcare from the Biomedical Research Institute in Lleida, and from two other research group from the University of Lleida, study group in health, society, education, and culture, Sorry, because I am translating the Spanish titles. And as I said, we are nursing teachers. We are involved in the teaching of nursing students about multiculturality, for example, but also other topics because we have colleagues as members of the Spanish team who are teachers of the clinical practices and in charge of welcoming even the Erasmus students to the health institutions. And as part of our team, we also have the ex-Vice Dean of International Relations of the faculty. So this is a really brief introduction. In our case, in the University of Lleida is in charge of one of the intellectual outputs of this project. As my colleague said, there are three main intellectual outputs in this project: the MOOC, the Good Practices Guide, and a short film which we are going to present for first time this afternoon, after the lunch at 2:15. So I am not going to spoil you. I really encourage you to attend and to see the first intellectual output finished. This film includes experiences of both Erasmus nursing students who are conducting clinical practices in other countries of Europe, and experiences of clinical mentors who are in charge of teaching these students. So we combine both perspectives, and we are really proud of the result. And okay, from this moment on, we will share this product in the social media, and we are going also to conduct to summarize this video, because this video is 13 minutes, sorry, and we are going to do shorter versions. So thank you very much, and see you this afternoon with the video and the MOOC. So thank you. So now we can start with the break. Okay, we have a break, sorry. Va a pasar ella. Si queréis luego nos cambiamos, podéis pasaros o pasamos.
Sí, luego nos cambiamos de sitio si
Vale,
queréis.
vale.
Hola, buenos días.
Hello again, everyone. We are going to start the roundtable about multiculturalism in clinical nursing practice. We have 4 special guests, and the first one who is going to talk are Laura Visiers Jiménez and Isabel Baeza Monedero from San Rafael University Center of Antonio de Nebrija University. I think it's in Madrid, if I am not mistaken. Then Cristina Arcas from Salut entre Culturas will talk. In the program, it's not this order, but we decided it's better to follow this order. And Josep Maria Gutiérrez, who is a nursing teacher from the University of Lleida and a nurse from the University Hospital Arnau de Vilanova, will talk the last one. So thank you I would like to thank you all for visiting us at the University of Lleida and contributing with your interesting speeches. So you can start, Laura and Isabel, as you want. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Erica, and good morning to everybody. And first of all, thanks to Universitat de Lleida for inviting us today. We are very proud of being here. My colleague Laura and myself come from Madrid, and we are presenting the research project entitled Cultural Competencies Assessment at the Nursing Degree within the European Higher Education area on behalf of the CCA Juniors Consortium. First of all, I would like to introduce you our research team, which is integrated by 5 professionals. Laura Visiers, who is here today, she's the PI of the project, and she's our leader and the one who is pushing the project forward. And she's a nurse and also a lecturer at our university center. Besides, we have Lara Martinez, who is also a lecturer and a nurse, and she cannot be here today because she has different duties at university, but she's also an important part of the project. We also have Dolores Nieto, who is a lecturer at the psychology degree at Nebrija University, and she's taking responsibility of the statistics part of the project. And Laia Regalargan, who is a nurse also, he's actually working in Ireland, and she's the author of the validation questionnaire into Spanish and Portuguese, which is the main instrument that we have used in this project. I will tell you about this afterwards. And finally, myself, Isabel Baeza. I am not a nurse, I'm a biologist. I'm part of this research team as an international relations coordinator at the university, and I am also a teacher at the nursing degree. Well, first of all, it is important to enhance that higher education institution. We all know that they have the responsibility of building an equitable society by integrating cultural content and competences in the nursing curricula. So nursing students, as far as we think, should acquire and develop different skills, but also cultural competences, not only during their professional development, but also during their undergraduate training. So it requires giving importance to the education and training for the development of a more global mindset throughout the curriculum that may advance these students throughout an intercultural development continuum. So preparing nursing students to this culturally competent environment and nursing care requires enhancing and giving its place to this education and training that should be central component of this nursing education. In this context, we review the situation, the actual situation in Europe, and we found that cultural competence level at this nursing faculty is a major and important factor in this training, but not many lecturers and not many students do have intercultural competences. Not all the curriculums do have intercultural subjects integrated within their undergraduate degrees. So, well, we found that this was something very important to explore and to go beyond. Therefore, the aim of this project is assessing these cultural competences among different European nursing students and lecturers in order to provide them international perspective in these cultural competences. So for students, we're going to evaluate the evolution of these cultural competences during 3 different times of their undergraduate training, specifying this afterwards, considering own factors and acquired factors. And for the lecturers, we wanted to describe which cultural competences do they have, do they show, regarding own and acquired factors also. We have actually, the project is actually running with 17 European countries and 70 universities all across Europe, and a lot of them also in Spain, in which every community is represented. So we have a lot of partners already. You can see here like the big slide with the names of all countries and universities that are actually part of this interesting network. Here you have the Spanish partners, among which we can gladly cite this university, Universidad de Lleida, who is also a great partner of us. And here you have a great overview of all of them. Regarding the nitty-gritty of the project, it's a descriptive, longitudinal, prospective, and multicentric study. And the project is running from 2021 and will be running until 2025. And as I was telling before, target population are both students and lecturers. The inclusion criteria are different, of course. For the students, they must be nursing students that have finished their first clinical training. And they have to agree of participating voluntarily in the study by signing the former informed consent. And for the lecturers, they have to teach at the nursing faculty both theoretical classes or being mentors or supervisors at the clinical training settings. And of course, the voluntarily agreeing of the participation of the study is also needed. For the students, we will pass them this questionnaire at 3 different times. The first one will be once they finish their first training experience, which at some universities means that this will happen during their first undergraduate year, or for some of the universities during their second year. Then at the middle of their academic undergraduate training, it depends on the number of years. We have 3, 3.5, 4 years, depending on the country. In Europe, it's slightly different already. And a final questionnaire will be completed after their final training experience, just before graduating, we could say. And for the lecturers, it's already running. Lots of universities are already asking their lecturers to answer this questionnaire, which has been issued from February this year till the end of July, till the end of this academic year. The variables we are recruiting are own factors before university life and acquired factors. For the own factors, we could cite, for example, the age, gender, religious community, different factors that identify the person or the community. And for the acquired ones are, for example, if whether they have had Erasmus experiences abroad or experiences of internationalization at home. And finally, the main variable is the individual self-perception regarding this cultural competence, which is assessed through this tool, which is this questionnaire, this validated questionnaire, CCA questionnaire, which had its original version in English, but has been already translated and validated in different languages: Spanish, Italian, Turkish, Portuguese, and recently, last week, also in Lithuanian. So we have a great, a wide range of languages, which makes us easier getting a lot of answers and self-perceptions from different students and lecturers in their mother tongues, which is very, very interesting. This questionnaire is a 25 Likert scale, which has mainly two dimensions, a cultural awareness and sensitivity subscale and a cultural competence behavior subscale. It's scored 1 to 7, and we are collecting this data through a tool which is called RedCap tool. I don't know whether you already know this tool, but it's very useful, and it's allowing us a great number of possibilities. This project, of course, was approved by an independent research commission last year, and we are running it according to all ethical principles of biomedical research. And an online informed consent is included at the very first part of the questionnaire. So every student or lecturer that wants to answer it has the possibility of signing it before answering the questionnaire.
Hello to you all. As Isabel already introduced me, my name is Laurea, and I'm the principal researcher of the project. I'm going to tell you about the preliminary results we already have of the project. As Isabel was saying, we already started with the questionnaire for the lecturers. So we got the results from until April. We have a lot of universities already participating from different languages. So 355 lecturers from 10 European countries and 31 different higher education institutions participated in the study by April. Most of them were Spanish or belonged to an English-speaking country. Sorry. Yeah, the global profile of the respondents to the questionnaire were nursing lecturers with an average of 45 years old, were women and Christian. 49% of them spoke at least one language in addition to their mother tongue. With 13 years of experience as lecturers at university, half of them had a doctorate level of education, and 76% of the respondents had a nursing degree, and 83% previous professional experience in the healthcare context, with an average of 15 years of experience as a healthcare provider. Before working life as a teacher at university, 67% of the lecturers had spent leisure time abroad, 27% study time abroad, and 25% working time abroad. Respondents on factors per questionnaires were described in different tables, but here the most important results had to do that most lecturers had never had an Erasmus Plus experience at university, but nearly half of them had experience at internalization as a university teacher at home. Yeah, you can see here. The mean level of cultural competence of the nursing lecturers is 5.3, being 1 not culturally competent and 7 very culturally competent, which this corresponds as a moderate high level. Lecturers have greater cultural awareness and cultural competence behaviors and sensitivity. You can see here that is the results. Here's a graphic. We can see a comparative level of cultural competences of the nursing lecturers by the language they use in the questionnaire. Okay, the most difference, you can see the Turkish. It's more aggruppated, all the data. The Spanish, there's a wide range between ones and others, but you can also see that there were more participants in Spain than in other countries. So we'll have the final results once we finish at the end of July. Yeah. Here we can see another graphic, which is the frequency the different answers were chosen for each question of the questionnaire. Category 1, you can see in the graphic, correspond to strongly disagree or never, while category 7 was strongly agree or always. Okay? When they answered 8, was no opinion or not sure to the question. So you can see here item 9 that you can see here was not included in the Italian and the Portuguese validated questionnaire, and item 26 and 27 was only part of the Italian validated scale. So you can see a big difference. The most important result here, it highlights how the question from 1 to 11, which belong to awareness and sensitivity dimension, the answer were mostly strongly agree or agree in most of the countries, and very often, from question to 12 to 20, to items from 12 to 25, the questions were more distributed. Okay, so it gives you also the difference between both dimensions. When comparing on factors of level of competences, no significant difference were found between cultural competence assessments, scores, and age, gender, previous professional experience in healthcare, or years of experience as a healthcare provider. Lecturers who had completed a nursing degree obtained significant higher cultural competence assessments, total scores, than those who had not completed a nursing degree. As you know, we have teachers in university. Most of the teachers have the nursing degree, but we have other teachers from other degrees. That could be the anthropology or could be biology. So that we can see here that the ones that have the nursing degree obtain higher results, higher competence level. Also, lecturers who had leisure stays abroad before working life as a teacher obtained significantly higher cultural awareness and sensitivity subscale scores than those who didn't. When comparing acquired factors versus level of competences, significant differences were found in cultural competence assessments and in cultural competence behavior subscales of those having experience at internalization as a university teacher at home. So participating in internationalization activities gives us higher levels of cultural competences. This study was conducted to assess cultural competences of nursing lecturers from 10 European countries. 2 main findings were discussed in this section. Nursing lecturers exhibited a moderate range of cultural competence with the highest mean related to cultural awareness and sensitivity. These results of the study go in the same line with other authors, for example, with Baghdad and Ismail in a study conducted in USA, on Hasid et al. In a study in Saudi Arabia, who revealed that the majority of academic nursing educators had a moderate level of cultural competences. Yates also showed that the highest index in cultural awareness. Campina Bacote emphasized that cultural awareness is crucial to create consciousness and a respectful environment of cultural diversity within nursing practice and education. Others have found that there is a lack of nursing educators with sufficient transcultural nursing knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors to teach culturally competent nursing care. Studies have found that nurse educators with higher level of cultural competences were more likely to improve students' awareness of culturally diverse skills and tasks and to feel more comfortable providing nursing care to clients from diverse cultural backgrounds. This study presented a multi-country perspective of cultural competences among nursing teachers. Varying levels of cultural competence were observed from the 10 countries. However, the shared cultural competence perspective was within a moderate range. Various predictors of cultural competence were identified, including having a nursing degree, spending leisure or studying time abroad before working life as a teacher at university, or participation in internalization activities at home. Well, some of the project benefits are expected are to expand the existing knowledge of cultural competences of undergraduate nursing at European level, also to determine the cultural profile of students and teachers at each higher education institution. We would like to design training programs on cultural competences based on the specific needs detected in each higher education institution. Also to share initiatives to start up activities that promote the development of cultural competences among nursing teachers and students. And here I think it's a very good place to start these initiatives. And also to identify synergies between higher education institutions for further agreements or collaborations. Well, thank you very much. Here you have your webpage that we have done as well in the project. So if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much to both of you, and congrats for the project, so interesting. We will have the opportunity of talk more about it during the day, and I am sure the colleagues of the Care for Europe project are also so interested in your results and the important implications of this project. So, next one in talking is Cristina Arcas from Salut entre Culturas, Hospital Ramón y Cajal, Madrid. Thank you, Cristina.
Sorry, I cannot find the...
No, ese es tuyo.
Pues arriba hay otro 60.
¿Es este? No, no. Así es. Así es. ¿Has copiado?
Sorry. Well, I got it in my bag. I can take it and put it again. I cannot find it in the computer. Okay, sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cristina. I'm a tropical nurse and social anthropologist who is working in this project and NGO that I would like to introduce you. That is called Salud entre Culturas, Health Between Cultures.
But before I started, I would like to say thank you from the part of Salut Entre Culturas team to the University of Lleida and all the team of Care for Europe project for give us the chance to be here this morning with you and to introduce you this project who started as a small idea and become an NGO that is integrated in a hospital in Madrid, as it's been said. So let's gonna start this story. This story starts with an idea of a medical team who was working in the tropical medicine unit in one of the main hospitals in Madrid that is called Ramón y Cajal. And well, this small idea started a few years ago and become a big team that is the team that is today. We are a very diverse team, as you can see in the picture, with very diverse backgrounds. We are a team of doctors, project coordinators, interpreters, cultural mediators, and nurses. And we try to work with the intersections of health and migration combined together in this idea who started as a small project and now is a NGO that is still working in this tropical medicine unit in the hospital, but as well in all the Madrid area. And we try to work as well with different places in all the national state. And this idea started, as I said, in a medical team, and it was because of this graphic that you can see in the picture. This medical team started to receive patients from different backgrounds with different barriers to have a very equity care with the new patients. The first of all, language barriers and culture barriers. So this medical team decided that they needed quite a tool to give a good quality of care to these new patients who were the main patient of the unit. Because we knew that migrant population have a lot of barriers when they want to use the health system. Some of the barriers are inside the health system, like challenging access to the system in general, but a system that is different to the health system that they knew before, and is a system that we know that is very complex. The barrier of the language, because not all the medical professional or health professional know all the language of the world. That is impossible. Cultural baggage and belief and gender mandates, but apart of these barriers inside the health system, there are few more barriers outside: legal status, precarity, stigma, limited access to information, factors related to the person who is moving abroad. So with all these barriers, this medical team decided to start this project that now we can see in this picture is made of 5 small ideas that are small programs inside the project. The one that I am going to start with is the first one, and the one that started with everything, that is interpretation and cultural mediation inside the health system, because it was the principal barrier that we can think that is the only one. Because, for example, maybe if we see this video, we can see ourselves in this situation.
¿Qué está diciendo? ¿Me tengo que desnudar? ¿Por qué me habla tan deprisa? No entiendo. ¿Qué dice que tengo? ¿Cómo dice que me tengo que tomar estos medicamentos?
So we started with the main barrier, the language. Because if I'm a health professional and I have a person who doesn't speak my language, it's impossible to give a good quality of care. So we started to train a group of interpreters and cultural mediators, because it's not only to know the language, but to be trained and to be specialized in how to use the health system, different ethical considerations like confidentiality, specialization, neutrality, impartiality, fidelity. So this, you can see like how is the medical unit in the tropical area. And this team of interpreters and cultural mediators work with language barriers, culture and beliefs, the stigma, confidence, adherence to treatment, and accompaniment, and in general to work for the health equity. It's not just the language, sometimes it's the cultures. There are so many cultural competence that this team of interpreters need to have in their curricula to be a good professional and work hand by hand with the medical team. But a part of this main program, the cultural mediation and interpretation team, we have 4 more programs, because we saw as well that, as we see before, the migrant population, when they want to use the health system, is just not the language, but there are too many barriers to access to health education. So we started with a project called New Citizen, New Patients. This project is mainly health promotion in parts of the city where the migrant population is based. Like, it could be an association, it could be a cultural center, could be wherever, where the migrant population is working or is reunited. So we as a team, the health care professional and the interpreter and cultural mediator, we go in a team to these places to give all this health promotion and health education to the people who is having these barriers to access to the health system. For that, we just not do the health education topic, but we developed a lot of information in different languages for the people who is coming to the workshop. Joined to this health education program, we got, this is some examples where we do these health education programs. We can go, for example, to a cultural center with migrant population, but we can go as well to center for new arrivals migrants that have been in Spain for a few weeks, maybe a month. You know that Spain is in the frontier to the big continent. From a lot of migrants are coming to Europe. We do this health education as well with young people, and we do this health education or kind of training with people who is going to work day by day with migrant population, people who is working in the NGOs or health professional who in the day-to-day are going to work with migrant population. And this is an example of one of these workshops where we were speaking about HIV with 3 different languages. It was Wolof, which is a language from Senegal, French, English, and Arabic. And you can see a person who, in this case, is myself, doing the workshop with 2 of my colleagues being the interpreters of these languages. In this case, you see that we were talking about HIV, but it's one of the topics. We speak about different health topics that we consider are important, but topics that the people from the NGO that we collaborate with, or topics that the person who are coming to the workshop say that are important for them to receive some information. We use material in different languages, translated by the interpreter and cultural mediator team. And here you can see the collaboration between the interpreter and the healthcare professional. From my point of view, without the cultural mediator, it was impossible to have this workshop because the language barrier is there. So, combined to this health promotion program, we offer as well a kind of diagnosis of different illnesses. In this case, in infection of HIV, we offer a rapid test of HIV combined with the workshop. We offer as well Chagas disease screening when we speak about Chagas disease, and recently we start to offer as well a screening of sickle cell diseases. We choose these 3 diseases to offer the screening because are diseases, in the case of Chagas and sickle cell disease, that affected the migrant population. In the case of HIV, affected to everyone, but it's important to offer this rapid test because, as we said before, migrant population sometimes find a lot of barriers to access to the main points of rapid test of HIV in the city. The next program is called Salut entre Mujeres, Health Between Women. And this started because we start to evaluate our program of health promotion, the first one. And we evaluate the people who were coming to this workshop. And we found a difference between men and women who were coming to our workshops. And we started to think, okay, maybe it's because there are more men than women that are migrant men or women who arrives to Spain. But then if you start to do some research, you see that the amount of women and men who arrives to Spain are 50-50. So actually the profile of the migrant person who arrived to Spain is a woman from Latin America. So we decided that the problem, it wasn't the public, so it was the way that we were working. And we started to do, again, to try to find places where migrant women were moving around in Madrid. We started to work with new topics, maybe topics that we didn't consider before. And we start to work with migrant women's group to have this space where we can develop new material and new topics and new health education for this group that they have the same barriers plus the gender one. And the last one is transcultural psychology. We thought that if we want to give a complete or an holistic care of the health, we need to take care of mental health as well. So we started a small project as well, a small program called Transcultural Psychology, where we offer to the people who attend to the workshop and the people who attend to the tropical medicine unit a clinic with a consultant with a psychologist, where they deal psychosocial well-being, motivation and lifestyle orientation, and with the most common diagnosis, anxiety, depression, Ulysses syndrome, post-traumatic stress disorder, and complicated grief. So, as all the projects that are being presented here, the Care for Europe project, the project that the colleagues just presented, and this NGO project, NGO/project, we think that it's very important to continue to work for health promotion addressed to the migrant population. If not, the migrant population is going to take a long time to access to a good health assistance or a good health education because of all these barriers that they find. It's good as well to work for a multicultural teamwork and to have an intercultural mediator in the healthcare. This figure is very important if we want to have a equity care with people who is just arriving to our clinic. It's good as well as just the colleague says before, exchange. Health professionals to go abroad and people from abroad to come to the country where we are working to exchange these good practices and to have this cultural competence that is day-to-day more needed. We need to develop these cultural competencies in nursing, as we are talking about nursing, but in all the healthcare staff, and we need this training in intercultural competence, intercultural care. So I think that is very important to have all these projects that you are dealing with and you are presenting because there is a lack of training in cultural competencies in nursing, at least. And we are nurses, we know that we are everywhere, we are worldwide, because we can find patients from abroad if we are working in the country where we were born, but as well we can go abroad to work. This is an example. I was working for a few years for the NHS, and this is a project that were done in the unit where I was working, just to show the team how diverse it was. But the nurses as well, we can go abroad to do humanitarian aid or cooperation, and as well we can go as a student to do Erasmus. So I think that we need to keep working for all this training in cultural competencies because of the globalization and because all of us are moving. We move here to Lleida, we move to a different place, and we want equity when we want to take care of ourselves or to take care of different persons. So thank you very much.
Thank you again, Cristina. As you see in this table about multiculturalism in clinical nursing practice, we are moving from different sides of the multiculturalism, as Cristina was explaining, because our project is focused in nursing students migrating, traveling to other countries, and they became migrants. But as well, they should learn, all nurses, even we have students of nursing students here, and they should learn how to deal with diverse populations. So thank you very much for this complementary vision. And now Josep Maria is going to talk us about the experience of welcoming intern students from another culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Erika, for your nice introduction. Well, this will be an emotional presentation because I would like to share with you some greetings, okay, some memories. Well, for me, being here now, it's a present. It's like a present because it gives me the opportunity to to make some thoughts concerning something happened 2 years ago. 2 years which have been filled with feelings that we didn't have in the past. So this is a present for me, being here now. Not one present, maybe 2 presents, because it's great having people from abroad here and having the opportunity to know more. I have learned a lot during last afternoon and also during the day. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to keep the testimony of a clinical placement coordinator, myself in this case, also healthcare professional, and the main role in this film, Erasmus students, okay? So let's start. Why me? Why me? Because, well, maybe because I'm working with nursing education at a hospital, because I'm helping with nursing research, and also I'm working with quality programs such as BPSO, okay? So here, this is my town. You know how many inhabitants, citizens? Are you sure about that? If you go outside, maybe it's better than the picture, but anyway, I need to use it. I'm working in that hospital. This is Hospital Universitari Arnau de Vilanova. It's a public health hospital, and we have some particularities comparing to hospitals, for example, in Barcelona. You have realized that we don't have those citizens in Lleida, but we have those citizens in a wide geographical area, which leads us to deliver a specific kind of care. Imagine some of our patients come from 120 kilometers, but this is not a representative figure. Maybe it's better to understand that they last 2 hours and a quarter to arrive to the hospital. We should keep in mind this in order to deliver our cares. So another question that is going to condition our work is Catalonia health situation. Plenty of chronic pathology, disability and dependence may be due to elderly, but we should consider this fact. And if we talk about figures, so nearly 57% suffer not only one chronic illness, but more than one chronic illness. So this is going to condition us. And another thing that is maybe is new for people like me is this. Maybe some colleagues know, this is a famous film also in Spain. And here, something new for us living in Lleida is diversity. We have to cope with this since, well, nearly 30 years ago. But if we are talking about films, maybe something better for us is this film. Don't know if you know it, but our migration mainly comes during some periods of the year, because we are a really agricultural area, okay? So this is something that is going to condition us. But, well, if we are talking about how many students do we have? We have 110 students divided in practice in the hospital, divided in morning and afternoon, 70 during the morning and 40 in the afternoon, and they are spread in 20, not only in wards, but only in 23 units. Well, 2 years ago, we had our great challenge. Our great challenge was having 3 Erasmus non-Spanish speakers. Imagine the situation. Nurses non-English speakers and Erasmus non-Spanish speakers. But it was our great challenge. So we decided on a strategy. The strategy was meeting with all the head nurses in the hospital. We tried to find English speaker nurses, and then at the end we had a final agreement. We also had a meeting with Erasmus students at the university representative of them, and at the end, another new agree. We had a change. They asked about a rotation system, and those 3 students were allocated in 3 places, and they exchanged those places during their stage. You see, I'm talking about 3 students at the 4th final year at the University of Peloponnese, Sparta, Greece. And you can see that they have an optional internship, and this is why they came to our university, and that's why our university gave those students to our hospital. We arranged a personal welcoming act, as we used to do with every student coming to the hospital. At this welcoming act, we try to give information about mission, vision, and values of our institution, of our hospital too. We try to give information about the hospital, different wards, places, units, because it's a hospital which used to be a little hospital in the middle of the last century and started growing in a not a tidy way of growing, so it's difficult sometimes for them to understand. And people, when they saw somebody in white, they start asking, where is? And that's why we try to give them a lot of information about that. Also, we were talking about the institution mission, but also we talk about the education mission in our hospital. We talk also about wards unit structure, mainly that figure who is an associate nursing faculty teacher, who is going to help in this process. And as we are a hospital who is working in a patient and family-centered care, we like to give them information about how to treat different patients. Which information are we allowed to provide to them? We try to tell them about how to manage difficult situations. This is very difficult, and we also try to work with this when they are at university, because they give a lot of feedback concerning that. And this is the moment that we use to make them sign our privacy and confidentiality agreement by law in Spain. We talk also about image and uniformity, identification, and what I'm going to do with my absence, with my punctuality, and also where to find the most important information for them in the intranet. We don't have an attractive intranet. It's been promised to be improved and changed, but when I started, that was the promise. I'm still in the program to change that intranet. Also, we teach them how to fill this important form. This is a student control record, and at the end of the stage, they give us in order to provide to mentors about a certificate, okay? We also inform them about the projects we are involved as nurses in the hospital. You can see here BPSO, which is implementation of 5 evidence-based practice-based guidelines from Renal Association of Nurses of Ontario. It's nice that they know about this project, because they are going to use those guidelines when they start using them at the university, at the faculty, but they still use them when they arrive to their practices in the hospital. At that time, we were really involved in nursing now, and well, we used to inform them about that fact. And that's the time also to distribute the different lockers from them, to introduce those students to the head nurses of the different wards, and also to introduce the nurse who is going to mentor their stage. Well, let's go and take another point of view of these reflections or thoughts. And we ask to our colleagues about healthcare professional testimony. We ask 5 questions, you can see here. Perception about Erasmus, what they learn, difficulties and strategies, patient perception, improvement suggestions, and here are the answers they gave us. I'm going to introduce you, first of all, Anna. Anna is in the intensive care head nurse unit, and she told us, well, I had the opportunity to practice my English in a health environment. This was great for them. Those nurses I'm going to introduce you are nurses who help us in that process, okay? I'm going to introduce you now Carol. Carol is the renal unit head nurse, and she told us, well, nurses who did not speak English complained about overwork mentoring these Erasmus students. This is a real fact, and I have to present you because this is the reality. But here I'm going to introduce you another figure. She is Montserrat. Montserrat is not a nurse. Montserrat is a renal unit nurse assistant. But they are really involved in that process too. She told us, well, to understand each other, we use Google Translator on the mobile phone. So imagine this was a strategy for them. Mainly when they wanted to talk, to face technical aspects. And another professional in this case is Elena. Elena is a nurse, and Elena told us that she remembered that those students were close, very close to patients from the human point of view. She realized about that. That's the point that she wanted to talk to us. Concerning the second question, Anna told us, well, I learned about another educational system with some different competences. Carol, I like knowing how nurses work in their country, and also, and this is something important to keep in mind, Carol told us we need to value more our healthcare system. We used to complain every day, and then when people come from outside, from abroad, makes you appreciate more what you are doing. And concerning Elena, I learned that both countries have similarity in the humanistic vision of care. Well, concerning difficulties and management of them, Anna told us, basically, we have realized that language barriers everywhere. But they learn fast how to manage with that lack of knowledge. They were helped by those who were able to speak English. Nursing computer programs in our hospital are in Catalan. So at the end, all nursing data was recorded by local nurses. And concerning patients' perception, which is really important for us, Montse, that nurse assistant, told us patients like when they have students, because they say that students listen to them. We don't listen to patients sometimes, so students used to spend more time listening to those patients, and this is appreciated. Also, she told us some patients don't perceive, because we are hearing them, language barriers, because always they were with a local mentor, and at the end, for them, the local mentor, it was just a translator. The new nurse was the nurse who was doing the stage. Okay. Elena remembers Francisco. Francisco always wanted the students to perform analytical tests. And well, this is because he was appreciated by those students. Also, Francisco spoke them in Catalan. They used to smile because they didn't understand him. But Elena was able to breathe that complicity and confidence among this new team. And well, last question. What would you improve? Anna told us better planning to improve student reception within the units, not at the hospital, but within the units. More knowledge about educational objectives of those students. And Caro told us creation of guidelines for health professional coping with Erasmus students. Remember, I am really glad to be in Care for Europe because this is one of the objectives. It's really neat in a hospital like mine, okay? I would like to have more feedback from Erasmus students' universities, and this is true. Head nurses have feedback from Lleida University, but not from the university those students coming from, okay? And well, my last testimony is about Erasmus students. Imagine what happened that year. We used to perform general clinical renal nursing sessions, and we added one more to the program that year. And this one more was the one you can see here. Expectations versus reality considering health systems. Those students in English made this presentation in this clinical nursing session, general clinical nursing session. You can see here some pictures of that. It was great. They worked really hard in order to give that presentation. And we told that what we expected was develop nursing identity, gain nursing and medical knowledge and implement it, understand the nurse duties and responsibilities, demonstrate nursing abilities with colleagues and patients, collaborate with other health professionals, critical reflection and professional judgment, develop increased understanding of the different cultures, so multiculturally is present every day, and also gain knowledge of the patient's rights. Sometimes it seems that everything is universal and global, and at the end they were, well, this is something in a bit way different. Why they chose Lleida? Well, they told us that they were recommended by their academic professor for the level of nursing and the quality of the provided healthcare services. We don't appreciate this when we are working here, and it's nice that somebody coming from abroad tells us. The limited educational opportunities in the area, and also something that they confessed me at the end that they had changed, is that sharing similar culture and lifestyle. They thought we have similar cultures, and at the end, they realized that similar but not so similar, okay? What they found, they were allocated in urology, nephrology and digestive unit, and internal medicine. Concerning urology, you can see here treatments, assessment, evaluation of body fluids, education. Let's go to nephrology. More techniques, extraction of blood, sterile techniques, insertion of peripheric veins, catheters, and also preparation of patients who are going to have a biopsy. They were really happy because going to nephrology gave the opportunity to know more about another part of that unit, hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, where nurses have a different role here. And concerning internal medicine, once more, administration of medicine, taking samples, more techniques, insertion of subcutaneous catheters. So this was their reality in our hospital. They wanted to remark some facts. First of all, successful collaboration among the team. We don't realize this here. We are always complaining about, well, we are not a real team. but for them, this was a real team. High level of organization, great supervisors willing to educate them, and well, they told us the well-functioning hospital. We are always complaining, but you see, sometimes it's good to have them. Comparing those remarkable facts from what they have lived in Catalonia to what they are going to live in their place, you can see different roles between nurse and nurse assistants, and 2, 3, 4, 5, well, things related to techniques and what we perform and do nurses. What's the situation for them in Greece? Except the first one, they used to tell us that usually the 4 last points were performed by doctors at their places. So they were really happy, and that's why now I understand why they were so happy doing these techniques, okay? When they were going to return to Greece, what they were planning to do. So hold on to what we have learned and use it to become better professionals. Not being afraid of taking initiatives and responsibilities regarding nursing profession. So educations give us the power in our competencies. Take all this knowledge and experience to try to implant to other colleagues. Share the experience, the Erasmus experience, and motivate other colleagues too. And make innovative changes to their health system and try to restore the nursing status, adapting elements from what they have learned during the Erasmus at our hospital. So I'm going to finish this presentation saying, yes, we did it, and not only we did it, I have to say that it was great. So great that I'm still now remembering this challenge. So thank you for your attention, and once more thank you for being here. Gracias. You know, we need this project. We need this project because patients, students, and also professionals are going to be better with the results, the outcomes of that project. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Josep Maria. Thank you, all of you. We are plenty of time because we are finishing at 1. And so we will have time now for, if in case any of you, the partners, the attendants, I know there is people attending from other universities who are in charge of international relations of mobility of nursing students, so I'm sure they are so interested in your project. You can ask between yourself because maybe you are interested in what Cristina explained, for example. But before asking you, and then you can have time to think if you have any question, I want to explain that the streaming, for those who are following this event from the YouTube link we provided, is going to finish at 1. So the people following us by streaming are not going to be able of following the workshops in the afternoon. In the afternoon, we are going to present the film and the MOOC. So I encourage these people to visit our website. I am going to show you briefly, if I can. Because in case you are interested of watching the film or visiting our MOOC, I encourage you to visit the website. It's careforeurope.org, I think, or .com. And then in this website, we have all the information about the project, about the events we are organizing, about all the advances of the project and the intellectual output we are conducting. In the introduction of this morning was so brief, and we didn't have the opportunity of explain that this project started 2 years ago, more or less, during the pandemic in 2020, and is going to finish in the spring summer of 2023. Because because of the pandemic, we experienced a lot of troubles in conducting our intellectual outputs, for example, for recording the video, because we were not able to do the interviews with students, with mentors, but even we experienced troubles between the members of the team, because all our previous meetings were held online. So this is an important moment. This, for remembering, this is the first opportunity for all, for the team members, for the partners, of meeting in person. And I also want to highlight that our project manager, Michael Faure, sorry, because I am so bad pronouncing the foreign surnames, but I want to give a special thanks to him, who is following us by streaming. So we hope the team members of the partners, we will look forward to meeting our project manager in person next time. So let's see if if any of you have any question, I am going to try to show you the website, so not losing time. So if any of you have any comment regarding these interesting presentations, you can start. Perfect. Thank you.
I do have a question for my colleague Christina. Regarding your interesting projects, it's 2 small questions, really. The first one is, how do you identify the needs? And at the same time, how do you get the participants for these sessions? Do they get to you somehow? Do you have access to them through some organization directly? How do you briefly organize one session with these immigrants about a specific topic, for example?
So it's a very hard work to have, because at the beginning we start to do like watch or regard some statistic or maps from Madrid, in this case, where the migrant population is living, to go to this neighborhood. We try to identify points where the migrant population is going. We try to identify leaders in the migrant population, and then we start to introduce ourselves. We realize that even in NGOs that work usually with migrant population, there is no a health team in the NGO. There is a legal team, educational team that are needed, but there are no health team. So we offer them this kind of workshop about health with interpreters that are part of the NGO, part of the team of different NGOs, even when they work with people who doesn't speak Spanish. And then the first step is to try to identify the coordinator of the group, if it's an association, NGO, a cultural center, a leader, and try to offer them our methodology. We work in this way, we offer this kind of topic, and we can go wherever you want, like in the morning, in the afternoon, like try to be the more adaptive to the person who are going to attend to the meeting. For example, if we want to work with migrant women, we know that we cannot work in the afternoon because usually they are the main carers of the family, so they cannot attend to the workshop. We try to do it in the morning, for example. And then to identify the needs is in 2 different ways. We can ask the coordinator, like, have you identified any need that you think that is important to deal with in this group, in particular group? or directly we do like a first meeting with the group, we introduce ourselves, and we try to, with a dynamic or with a, I don't know, with a workshop that we've been doing for a long time, we try to identify the needs of the people who is going to attend to the meeting, and to do a next meeting with just dealing in deep the topic that they really want to deal with. And in this way, I think that is better than if we arrive with a topic and we offer them, because maybe it's not the topic that they want to know about. And we, in this way, we try to prepare a lot of material that about topics that maybe are not in our mind, because maybe we didn't think that it's important to speak about, I don't know, oral hygiene. But when you meet the group, they tell you that, okay, but maybe if we speak about this or about that. And then if the workshop is doing well, that usually does, we usually repeat with this group for the next month or the next month, but that depends, because, you know, migrant population is moving very quickly. So sometimes we just have the chance to work with this group for once or twice. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, perfectly, because I was thinking that when we have this information, we usually see like the final step, and sometimes it seems easy, but knowing that there are like a lot of steps before and a lot of works before, it's interesting to briefly know how do you face it, just to get to the final step and to this important aspect. Thanks very much. Thanks, Christina. Very interesting.
Any question from the public? Yeah, Mika?
Maybe this is more like a comment, so thank you, Anna, thank you all. Very interesting presentations.
If you want to come a bit.
Probably you can hear me.
Yeah, but I don't know if the streaming wants. So, oh, perfect.
Okay, so thank you for the very interesting presentation, and what I just wanted to say that this gives really good or highlight the importance of our intellectual outputs. Actually, you were presenting really nicely all the needs of international students, but also importance of multicultural issues and cultural competence. So thank you, and we will continue with this when presenting our MOOC. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to bring the microphone to the next person who wants to ask. Maybe it's better with the microphone for the streaming.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for the presentations. It was great. It's really interesting. And I do have a question for you, Maria, because we come from the Escola Superior de Enfermería del Mar in Barcelona, and I work as the international coordinator. Unfortunately, our clinical placement coordinator cannot be here today, but we do have a problem that maybe you can help us or anyone to face, and is that we do have Erasmus students who come to Barcelona, and we have a language requirement for them of a Spanish language, because they need to move around and into the clinical placements in the hospitals, but some of them don't speak Spanish, and we do have a real problem to spot and recruit English-speaking nurses. So I don't know how you did it. That was my question. How did you find them? Because we cannot spot the nurses who speak English, and also like with the current situation and the general pressure and burnout situation that nurses are experimenting. Even though some of them speak English, they are not open to work with Erasmus students because they perceive it as more work or more challenging. So I don't know if there is anyone who can help us, please.
Thank you for your question. Have you had realized some of the head nurses talk about that? The nurses don't want to this overload of work, extra work. But, well, I've told you, the first strategy was arranging a meeting with head nurses in order to try to find within their teams who is able to speak English. When I was preparing this presentation, I also asked them about figures, which I haven't presented, and we made a mistake because nearly half of the staff reported that they were able in some way to understand English, but well, at the end this is not true, it's difficult for them. We have now work now in the hospital project, which is identify people who is able to speak English. We've been stopped during these 2 years because you have said it. It's been a terrible situation for nurses in Spain. Also maybe in your countries too. But here I can say that yes, it's been like that. And I realize I'm also teaching at the faculty, and we try to do some interventions at our sessions in our classes in English. I know they have a minimum level of English that we didn't used to have in my school there. And they are shy, they don't want to start, but when they start, for example, presenting projects in English within the class, well, starts one and realizes that we are not laughing at them. They realize that they know more English than me. Their level, our students have a good level of English. And now our duty in hospitals is trying to identify this new professional and try to make a database and, try to build a map about how many nurses, because it's another problem. For example, I've been working in a renal unit for 25 years. We have a big association, a renal association in Spain. We have production of nursing care in a good quality, but we are not able to present this at an European level, and this is a language barrier. So it's a need to work this at our faculties, and also when they come to hospitals, try to identify this. And I have to say, this was a challenge for us, but they really enjoy doing that. And I'm willing to have Erasmus students again, because we have stopped everything for 2 years, and I'm willing, because the experience I've told you about open a door in our hospital. Maybe in those wards when they didn't have those students, they still think the same, but not in the units that were allocated. Don't know if I answer your question, but this is my feeling.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I would like to answer to you as well, because I'm the placement coordinator in my institution, and we also have the same problem as you're saying. We also ask the Erasmus students that come to us to have at least intermediate level of the language, not only for being able to speak to the nurses, but also to the patients and to the families. I mean, the language, at least a basic level of the language is needed to take the most of the experience of being a nurse. But also a good thing is maybe, I don't know if you have heard about the buddy program with other students. That's a very good thing, because our students do know the language, do know English or Portuguese or Italian. So maybe you can find to match with the students of your own institution, and they go with the international students to the placements, maybe the first day, to introduce them to the team. So you see it like there's a student like yourself, and it's going with you, knows the language, maybe knows the hospital. So it's maybe a good way to introduce the international students to the ward, and if they can do the placement at the same time. So it's maybe it's a way for introducing the student to feel more comfortable in the ward, and as well as as he said, maybe finding wards where you have English-speaking nurses or other languages, it's a good way for, at least for the introduction, for the welcoming. Then it's amazing how we receive students from other countries, and in 2-3 weeks they're speaking Spanish better than us. So yeah, just have to, maybe for the first few 1, 2, 3 weeks, until they know how it works, how also the Spanish culture. We need people to help us with this transition. So it can be professionals, but also can be students, other students that help them with that.
So in that case, because we just launched our body program this year, and do the bodies go with them to the hospital like the first day? Or
maybe the first day, yeah.
Only the first day.
They receive them when they arrive. Maybe they can go to the airport and receive them the first day. Maybe they can introduce to other students, and they can even, we leave them up to them, but it's a good way if they can go the first day. So go with them to the ward and explain how it goes and everything. It makes them feel more comfortable with the experience, the practical experience, but also to know the city. So we ask them to go out with them one night, maybe for a drink or maybe for a coffee. So I think that's a way they feel more comfortable when they arrive to our university. So.
That is a great idea, thank you.
Thank you.
I can add something more. We have a little experience with nurse assistants concerning this, not Erasmus, but something similar. And they use another strategy. We can use it in nurses because we don't have so many places in order to allocate those students. But for those nurse assistants, they appoint, a student who speaks English. And 2 students go with 1 national professional. But this is not, I think, in the case of nurses, it's not good. And considering what we are saying all the time, and I'm the first one who says this, language barriers. Imagine, nobody comes to our faculty speaking Catalan, nobody. But at the end, they understand there's no barrier. After 1 week, everybody tries to. So communication is not sometimes verbal, it's something more. It's something more. And maybe you don't perform techniques in a so genuine way, but at the end you learn how to cope with this situation. And this is something I encourage every student to go abroad and to an Erasmus program.
I only would like to add that hopefully this situation of not having so many nurses, supervisors who speak English is going to change, because the hope is in the new generation of nurses we are producing, we are teaching at the university, and they are graduating. They are graduating with a B2 level, B1 as minimum, and I am sure they are more able to understand that previous generations, for sure. So all the young people are improving really a lot with the English language. We, the Spaniards, we used to be, or we still are, so shy about our English. I never have heard many times, like, from Spaniards, sorry for my English, I apologize for my English. And at the end...
Well, I have to apologize
for... No, please, no, I am against this complex of inferiority. So, okay, I only wanted to finish this session in case there is not any question. I only wanted to finish with this, like, positive message for the future and from the new nurses.
But Erika, we have to have something in mind. We are talking always about language. The topic of this is not language. It's nursing, it's multiculturality. So at the end, we are able to understand each other. And I have to confess, I can understand you and not English native speakers. So this is communication at the end. So this is nursing, or this is multiculturality, and that's what's really important.
And that's one of the main topics we will see in the video, in the workshop, in this afternoon. We are including language barriers, but other, not language strategies or communication strategies, cultural differences, and because, as you said, it's not only a language problem, it's a complex phenomenon, and the message is positive. It's positive. So, thank you to all of you. Looking forward you attending this afternoon to the workshops. And as I said, the ones who are following us by streaming, the streaming is going to finish, but you can visit our web and be updated about the advance of the project. And also, I encourage you to contact us, the members of the team, this project, and we can be in touch with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we have lunch.
Es tuyo.
Oh, qué bien. Qué alegría me da. Que lleguen las cosas.
Tengo muchas ganas de que salga el resultado final, porque a mí la competencia cultural es una cosa que me interesa muchísimo. Yo hice enfermería y